And Manchester United 4, Dirty Leeds 0. Look, at the end of the day, it's a pre-season game. I think if Leeds had won it, they would have made a big deal out of it. For Manchester United, it's a small step forward on the progress of the pre-season tour as we work towards this new world under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And certainly, I think it was also a day where the youth stepped up for Manchester United. I mean, I thought Gomez and Chong in the second half were good. Mason Greenwood got his goal. Wan-Bissaka, Daniel James all showed glimpses again of what good signings, young signings they can be. And then the players that really sort of let us down, I would say, if you can let people down in the pre-season, would be the more experienced players. I thought Mata was poor, Lingard was poor, Matic was poor, Rojo was poor. So it's interesting how the youth lads stepped up to the plate and I suppose perceived Deadwood experienced players yet again didn't. It's pre-season, but I think they need to kick up the arse. Paul Pogba was fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I think the statement I would say is that can United afford to let Paul Pogba go? Because that first 25 minutes and the way he set up the part he played in that first goal, that's what Paul Pogba is. When you get the best out of Paul Pogba, you have got one of the best midfielders in the world. Have we done that over the last 3 years? God, no. Has Paul Pogba stepped up to that plate over the last 3 years enough? God, no. But if we got him to that level, you know what? If you've got a fantastic player there, and I just don't know whether there's the time for Manchester United to sell Paul Pogba. We must bring in Bruno Fernandes. We must bring in Harry Maguire, despite the best efforts of Sir Philip Jones, who today... You cheeky boy, Phil. What are you doing? Scoring bullet headers, bringing the ball out from the back, immaculate in your defensive side of the things. What do you think you're doing? Do you think we're stupid? Do you think we don't see through your B-Tech Van Dijk impression in a meaningless pre-season game? Look at me. Look what I can do against a knackered Leeds team. I can run out from the back. I can score bullet headers. I can read the game. You know, Phil Jones doing his best efforts there to convince Manchester United fans and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that we don't need to sign a centre-back. But of course, in all seriousness, Phil Jones did do well in the second half. It was a good header. But we've got to sign a centre-back. We've got to sign a centre-back. And you know what? Why didn't Axel Tuanzebe get on in that second half? Like, this is another thing. I want to talk about that youth in a minute. But I said this about Tuanzebe. Everyone's like, give him a chance. He deserves a chance. And like... I think, you know, you can't read too much into the fact that he didn't play in the pre-season game today. But what I think you can read into is, even if we don't sign a centre-back, he's behind Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly. That's 4 players ahead of him, even if we don't sign Harry Maguire, which I think we will. Surely Tuanzebe's got to go on loan because you can already see he ain't going to get much game time, is he? But look, in relation to the game itself, of course it's meaningless. Of course it's meaningless. It's a meaningless pre-season game. But where it does take on some context is it's another game in the bank for Manchester United's fitness levels. We got to see a little bit more that we can press and move the ball quickly. And we got to see some more youth players and people got to build their confidence. Is that team or squad good enough to finish 4th? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think there's too many weaknesses in there and we desperately need 3 players bringing in, even if we keep Pogba. Angel Gomez was my favourite player today, says Joe Alexander. He was a shithouse out there, flying into Leeds players. Definitely made me laugh and proud to be a United fan. Yeah, good to see that. And welcome to Mr. Beast, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Look, you know what? For me, I don't know what you lot think. We're going to do sort of player ratings, etc. But for me, I think that the thing that stood out to me with Manchester United in the good bits, and it certainly didn't happen for 90 minutes. I don't think it even happened for 45. But in bits and pieces in that game, I saw some speed and tenacity, and definitely the ability to break quick. From back to front. We didn't do it in the second half, and I said we'll be able to do it in the second half with Nemanja Matic on the pitch, and we didn't. But in the first half, we broke from back to front so fast. It was like watching United under Sir Alex Ferguson. And again, let's not get carried away with that statement because it is pre-season. But you know, whether it's pre-season, a kickabout down the park, or it's a big game against Man City in an FA Cup final, if you are trying to move the ball quickly from back to front, you're trying to move the ball quickly from back to front. We didn't try to do that under Mourinho. We didn't try to do it under Van Gaal. And we did today. We did try to move the ball from back to front quickly. That led to the second goal. We nearly got a couple more goals from it. Daniel James hit the post. Daniel James could have played somebody else in on the break. That's good to see. There's a lot of, especially the first half team, we moved the ball quickly from back to front and there was a lot of problems caused to Leeds. Second half, Matic comes on, who was poor again, and we didn't move it as well. Pereira played well, but he was having to move the ball himself because Lingard didn't play particularly well either. And Leeds, we didn't break on Leeds enough in the second half. I think they sat a little bit deeper as well because they were tired. But that was good to see. There's definitely reason for positivity because there's a difference in the way that we're playing. But I still think a lot of those players don't look fit, which is fine. You don't expect that. And I also think that we are still 2-3 players short from where we need to be. And there is still some question marks, I suppose. Pereira was great today, says Ivan Bohan. My man of the match is going to be Paul Pogba, because I thought Paul Pogba in the first 20 minutes of the game, when everybody is fresh, he took hold of that game. Jasper Chain says Pogba captain next game, that could get him to stay. I thought Pogba sent a statement today. I thought that first 25 minutes was brilliant. I thought the part he had in the first goal, the pass was exceptional. He would be my man of the match. So smash a like on the video if you thought Pogba played well or was your man of the match. But I'm not going to get carried away because for me, it still resonates that Pogba's agent said that Pogba wants to go. It still resonates that Pogba says he wants a new challenge. So I'm assuming that Pogba still wants to leave Manchester United. Was that performance today done to say, look at me, Real Madrid, come and get me, I'm brilliant? Or was it, look at me, Manchester United, I'm committed, I want to be here? We don't know that. And we're not going to know that until something is said by Pogba, who is traditionally doesn't say anything like that. Even when Pep Guardiola said he was offered Paul Pogba before the Manchester derby, Pogba just came out and went shh when he won the game. So I don't know whether we'll get that from Pogba. So this could run and run and run. But what I would say is, can we afford to lose Paul Pogba? Because, yeah, he has been inconsistent for 3 years, but who are we going to bring in? We haven't even got the player to play with him yet in Bruno Fernandes. How are we going to bring in a replacement? So, look, I thought Pogba was very important today. I thought he played very, very well. I don't think it's possible for a player to play well for 45 minutes at the moment. I don't think anybody's pre-season is at that level. I think like Daniel James against Perth Glory, he had a good first 25 minutes. I thought Pogba had a really good first 25 minutes. And then he faded a bit because that's what's happening with players in the pre-season. But I just don't think United can afford to lose a player like that, especially when other experienced players like Lingard and Mata and Matic look so far off the pace and maybe are off the pace because they're not good enough. I don't know, but Pogba played very, very well today. I think some people have highlighted Pereira in the second half. I thought he was fantastic. Delivery from set pieces very good. That led to Phil Jones's header. But also, when he had the ball at his feet, he wanted to turn, he wanted to run. And I think if Pogba had put in if Pogba was putting in the performance Pereira did second half, everyone would be going, oh, that was amazing. So I think Pereira had a good game in the second half as well. Pereira was my man of the match in the second half. Tahith Chong did well. I still think Tahith Chong is very raw. He does lose the ball sometimes, but then he does something brilliant. I think Angel Gomez is tidy. I think Angel Gomez is a very, very tidy player. He did well. Going back to the first half, Greenwood, Rashford impressed me again. Daniel James in bits impressed me. So there are bits to take from both halves of that game. What I would say is the youth impressed me. Gomez, Chong, Greenwood. They impressed me. I'm trying to think who else did as well. But what concerns me is, where are Greenwood will get game time because I think we are lacking options up front. But in the midfield and in the defence and in the wing positions, where's Chong going to get 20 games next season for Manchester United? Where's Angel Gomez going to get 20 games? Where's Axel 20CB going to get 20 games? They're not. I think they're going to get sporadic games and it's going to be their training with the first team. I think they've got to go on loan. I think if they go on loan, Tahith Chong could go on loan to Swansea and play 35 games. So could Angel Gomez. And Axel 20CB could go on loan to a Premier League club and play 38 games. So that, to me, is what those players need to do, because I don't see Angel Gomez getting in the team ahead of Juan Mata, despite the fact that he's a faster, better Juan Mata. I don't see it happening. And that, I don't think you get a hell of a lot from training than you do for playing. Gomez and Garner were class, says Simon Tack. Well, Garner only played for 10 minutes. I'd like to see him get in a full half, to be honest with you. But what I want to say about Ollie is, this is the first pre-season tour in a while where I've seen a manager willingly putting youth in with the experience and giving them a lot of game time. I know Mourinho sort of did it on tour last year because he had to, and I know on previous tours Van Gaal and Mourinho have used Pereira, but there was a lot of youth in that game, and there was a lot of youth in the Perth Glory game. You know, getting 45 minutes. Greenwood 45 minutes in both games. Gomez 45 minutes in both games. Chong 45 minutes in both games. Twansibi's had 45 minutes. Garner's come on in both games. So there is a purpose to what Ollie's trying to do there. And I think a lot of people at the end of last season were like, well, Ollie talks about the youth, but he hasn't used the youth. And I think on this pre-season tour, he has. And that is a positive. So I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Please smash a like on the video, everybody. I went for Paul Pogba as my man of the match. We're going to go through the player ratings in a minute. Paul Pogba was my man of the match. Close second, Andreas Pereira. So smash a like on the video if you agree with that. And my message is, I just don't think United can let Paul Pogba go. But how determined is Paul Pogba to go? That's going to be the problem. If Paul Pogba wants to go, he can force this move. Sean Bordner says, Ollie mentioned he wants attackers to play all three, the front three. With James and Greenwood coming in, do you think we even need an established right winger? And I do think we need an established right winger, because I still think the right wing is where we're weak. And Genwell Blandres says, with Ollie changing the squad, do you think Mata will start games next season? Also, we need a right winger. I agree, we do need a right winger, and I don't think... I think if Juan Mata is stayed at this club to keep David De Gea here, great. But I said this during the watch along. He was crap last season, Juan Mata, and I don't see how people think Juan Mata at his age is going to be consistently poor last season and suddenly become good again. I don't see that with Juan. I don't see that. I'd much rather see Angel Gomez playing because he's quicker, and I think he'll be better. But Juan Mata's going to have to get games. Alexis Sanchez is going to have to be given games. Phil Jones will have to be given games. Matic will have to be given games. Young will have to be given games. So we've still got a lot of the deadwood at the club, and that is something that Ollie's going to still have to manage. I would rather be looking at the youth. I definitely would do, yeah. And we've got to get the transfers done. Harry Maguire's got to come in. Bruno Fernandes has got to come in. We've got to improve. We've got to bring better players into this club. Lukaku's clearly going to go. Not involved again today. Do we bring another striker in? I don't know. I think you can't ask for anything more than that pre-season game. I thought Manchester United put in the performance as good as they could do. Sporadic, yes, because it's pre-season. But yeah, I was happy with it overall. We're going to do the player ratings. And Gomez and Chong are good. We need them to be loaned to Championship. Greenwood can stay as a right wing, as a bench player, but really needs someone else, and Greenwood loaned. I would keep Greenwood and Alyapan. I would keep him, but I think Chong, Gomez and Twansebi need decent loans. I don't see the point in keeping them at the club and not giving them enough game time. And I can already see that we've got way too much deadwood in that squad to be promoting the youth up. You can already see that it's not going to happen. De Gea was ill, MC Games. So let's go through the player ratings then. I'll double up on this. So Romero and Joel Pereira, wasn't it? I thought Romero 7 and Pereira a 6. I didn't think Joel Pereira, the goalkeeper, didn't really have anything to do. Fullbacks, Wan-Bissaka 7 because he got an assist. Delot in the second half a 6. I thought he was pretty average really. Centre-backs, Bailly and Lindelof. I think I'd give Bailly a 6 and I'd give Smalling a 6, average. Lindelof I gave a 7 because I thought he did well, and Phil Jones would get a 7 as well because he did score a goal. Fullbacks, Rojo 5, Ashley Young 6. Didn't really notice Ashley Young second half, to be honest. Moving into the midfield, McTominay got a 7 for his assist, and I thought he did quite well. Matic 5, thought was very, very poor. Mata 5, didn't think he did particularly well. Andreas Pereira second half 7, thought he did do well. Pogba first half an 8. I thought he was really, really, really good. And Lingard second half 5, poor. For an experienced senior player, Lingard was poor, because then as you move into Chong second half 7, and Gomez second half 7, and Lingard 5, Lingard should be putting better than that. Rashford got a 7 for me in the first half. Got a goal again. Greenwood 7 for his goal and his effort levels. James, I'd give James a 7. I thought he did well. Yeah, final ball and final shot not great, but yeah, I'd give him a 7. And Martial, I'm only going to give Martial a 6. I know he scored a penalty, but I thought Martial was a 6. I didn't think Martial did that good, to be honest with you. And at Bjornepan would send Greenwood to Germany like Sancho. I don't know. I think Greenwood's, you want him to play in the Premier League. So I mean, Sancho went to Germany to play in Germany in a transfer. Lingard's got a 3 from some people. Dan James got a 9, says Bleacher G. I wouldn't go that far. But, you know, all in all, very good performance from Manchester United. The intensity was good in bits. The way we broke in the first half was good. We couldn't break like that in the second half because Matic is too slow. And I'd say the first half team was better than the second half team. You've got to add into the fact as well, Leeds didn't have a second half team. So Leeds had players in the second half who played in the first half. So they were tired. I got the impression that Leeds pre-season is not as far ahead as ours is as well. They looked a little bit slower in areas. But Leeds weren't pushovers. At times they did quite well. So very, very pleased with United. Excited now. We leave Australia, which is sad. And we head off to Singapore. Flex has got the fan cams coming in. So let's see what the fans have got to say. But we got to keep hold of Pogba, I think. Because I can't see how we're going to replace him in 3 weeks. And bring Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire in. There doesn't seem to be that urgency to this transfer window, and it closes in 3 weeks. And I don't know whether that's a purposeful tactic by United to just keep the days passing by and go, oh, it's closed, we couldn't get everything done. You've had plenty of times to get things done. There needs to be some impetus behind this transfer window. Get Harry Maguire in, get Bruno Fernandes in, replace Lukaku. That's 3 deals you've got to do in 3 weeks. Get a bloody move on. Because that team did well today, but it ain't going to finish in the top 4. There's still gaping holes in it. We need to get some momentum on these transfers. And that's what I would say. And that's why I don't think we can sell Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba is going to be the man who decides that. Because if he pushes the move, he will get a move. Thanks everyone for watching. Pogba was my man of the match. Please smash a like on the video on your way out. We've got fan cams coming in, match day vlog, loads to come on throughout the day. So make sure you subscribe if you're new, smash a like, and we'll speak to you all very soon. Thanks for watching.